Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. Rental Robert here with the Hustle Nation. I'm tired. Live here in Pensacola, Florida. The humidity is absolutely brutal. And it ain't even cooking just yet. But it is what we call a 3 bandana day. In other words, you better take 3 clean ones with you to make it through the day. I'm going to tell you what has gone on with me, in the sense of I did a update kind of video a couple days ago and put some things into action. I'm going to give you a kind of an update on how they've been. And you know, it's kind of, you can go to any business school and they're going to teach you how to read books, or teach you how to read books. They're going to teach you how to study. They're going to teach you how to read a ledger. They're going to teach you how to read a profit and loss statement, okay? And as far as I know, and I'm speaking out of ignorance because I haven't ever been to a business school, what they don't teach you is the emotional swings that come with being a hustler. And, you know, the word entrepreneur gets thrown around loosely, kind of like brother. And, you know, I'm definitely not an entrepreneur, okay? An entrepreneur is a person that starts a business, and a true business has processes where you have manuals that outline those processes. And if you really want to get good with business and entrepreneurship, probably the best business on earth to study is McDonald's. And the reason for that, you know, McDonald's is not in the hamburger business, they're in the real estate business. They're always where it's a prime location, high traffic count, okay? It's not often that you see a McDonald's go out of business, right? Now, there's a lot of times that they will go out of business because something else that happened around them, and maybe they didn't see what was coming. You know, big shopping center could have been closed, or they could have ended up, you know, rerouting a road so that the traffic count, you know, dropped by 80%, you know, things of that nature, okay? You would think that people would, you know, have a 5-year heads up on that. However, maybe they didn't, okay? So, you know, the thing is that there's nobody that teaches you how to fade the emotional swings that happens with this business, okay? And not only is it the highs and lows from, you know, having a fat pocket with cash to, you know, I don't know how I'm going to feed my kids, that emotional swing, you know, and that'll make most people run back to a steady job. And I get it, okay? And, you know, if you have children, you've got an obligation that really needs your attention, as far as not putting any undue stress on them because of choices that you have made as a parent. And so the thing is that, again, you know, this way of life is not for everybody, okay? You know, it's possible for you to have a good job that you stay at for 30 years, you get the medical, you get the retirement, you know, you pick you up a couple rental properties along the way, you get them paid off in 15 years, you got an extra 3, 4, 5, you know, grand coming in besides the pension or besides the 401k and everything like that. And you're balling, you know, and pretty much anything that comes along that you want to do, you're going to be able to, all right? Now, for people like me, this is it. This is what I've got, okay? And so, you know, a lot of this success, trying to do more, build more, it's completely logical. The next move is completely logical. And what ends up occurring with people like me is my emotions get involved. And it's not that, you know, I go flying off the handle or, you know, anything of that nature, but there are certain things that appeal to you or me. Pardon me. I'm just going to talk about me. And I'll give you an example is that, you know, I've been working with an accountability coach, and we figured out that I'm a hunter by nature. I like to find something, move in. You know, thousands of years ago, I'd probably been, you know, killing something. And I guess I do that in a way today. However, you know, finding houses at ridiculously low prices and negotiating them and then closing them, that's almost like you found your prey and then you kill it. You complete the deal. There's nothing more for you to do right there, okay? Not the last house that I bought, but the second to the last house. I paid $14,000 for it. It's 2-bedroom, 1 bath. It's going to take about $30,000-$40,000 out of my pocket to get it to the point where I can rent it out, and it'll rent for about $1,200. Great thing is there's a big garage on the property as well, so end up being 2 houses at some point. So that deal right there took almost 3 years in the making for it to happen. And I had to do a lot of diligence and a lot of follow-up in the sense that you need to keep your name and face fresh in people's mind. You know, I'm getting 6-7 postcards every week. Hey, we want to buy your house. My phone rings off the hook. And, you know, they say, are you interested in buying the property? And I say, yes, I am. Or are you interested in selling the property? Yes, I am. Well, we'd like to make you an offer. Well, what's your offer? Well, we need to talk about it. And I said, oh, no, you don't. Well, sir, to make you an offer. I said, no, you don't. You don't have to talk. You can actually make an offer right now. You can tell me, we want to give you $10,000 for that house. Well, that's too low. I said, I agree, but you could. So you could actually make an offer without saying anything else. Well, and I know they're looking, trying to read their script to say, you know, if customer says this, then do that, and always throws them off. So, you know, the thing is that I have been blessed, been fortunate, you know, found some really good deals on houses, paid cash for them, and, you know, I became fixer-upper rich and cash poor. And, you know, it was like, for what I could write a check for and what my net worth is, you know, it just did not make sense. Plus, you know, it's also a situation where it's like, man, I don't know if, you know, if something happens, you know, I can't fade something catastrophic, you know, financially. And so I said, you know, what I need to do is I don't need to buy any more fixer-uppers. If I do, I need to cut them loose and sell them, make a profit, and just work in my business, okay? And that's what I've been doing. And it's been fruitful, it's paid off, it's not glamorous, and it's not the most fun thing to do. And I really don't like telling you all this because it's just not cool, okay? However, for me to get to the next level, I have to do this. And it is a grind. You know, my coach said, you're in the weeds. This is what they call it. My buddy Gerald Peters, you're in the suck. This is what sucks about doing this gig, you know. And I kept on telling myself, man, you know, you got these 5 properties and, oh my God, how long is this going to take? And, you know, last April, we were doing a rehab, you know, fixing up a unit that I'd bought. It was in real bad shape. And, that's why I get some deals. And that April was a 5-week month. And I blew through $20,000 in payroll like you ain't never seen before. And I was like, holy shit, what just happened? And I really, you know, we ended up spending almost $50,000 between labor and materials for that unit. And it's a studio, and so it rents for $925 a month, and we pay the water and trash on it. You know, so there's a concept out there that's called, is the juice worth the squeeze? And I really had to ask myself about that. One of the guys that was working for me, I genuinely liked. The other guy, he had a lot of baggage. I felt bad for him. he just could not seem to keep it together. His girlfriend ends up messaging me on Facebook, and he's a POS and he's doing this, and I leave his house, and then 30 minutes later this other chick shows up and I'm around the corner watching, the whole thing like that. And but the biggest thing was that he just did not do quality work that I needed. And I've always told my people that if your parents show up on the job site, you need to proudly say, this is what I'm doing right here. And if you don't, or you can't, then you need to stop what you're doing and pack your tools up and leave. And so I ended up firing him. The other guy, he ended up quitting, and Carla's been with me for 8 years, still with me today. And so all we've been doing really is that within, I'd say probably the last 4 months, we did a lot of work that was not cash intensive. We did a lot of painting, a lot of maintenance stuff on the properties and everything, because I had a specific financial goal on how much each month I was putting into savings. And we hit that goal. And, I did buy a house and I flipped it, made a few grand on it. That helped. I got paid stupid tax as well. That's a whole nother video right there. And so, I hit the goal and it was like, boom, okay, now let's get into high gear. And so, the correct way to do this is find something that makes you a lot of money. And right off the bat, sales. Sales will historically always be the best paying job around, okay? Great salesmen make millions of dollars a year, all right? And I would be willing to say that probably the best salesman in the world makes more than the best heart surgeon. I could be wrong, okay? However, heart surgeons, they solve monumental problems, and they do it while somebody's alive, and they keep them alive while they're doing it. That's the incredible thing. Sales is truly a skill that you have to master. And, part of it is reading people and understanding what makes them tick. You can pick up on certain things. You see them with a Rolex, or you see them with this, or that, or the type of car they drive, the clothes they have, the shoes they're wearing, how they keep their fingernails. There's a lot of things for you to be able to pay attention to get information on this person, on how they present themselves, okay? And I say all of this to wrap this thing up into, this whole thing is about you getting, or me getting control of those emotions, okay? And it's like, and genuinely, I've had 2 really good days. Today was a good day. And this is what I've started doing is that my day, I get there first, okay, 6 a.m. And Monday, I was there at like 5:55. Yesterday, I was there at like 5:50. And then this morning, I think I was there at 5:45. Monday and Tuesday, I make sure that I put in at least 7 hours on the job site, okay? You got to consider that I got 4 other money makers going, and they're not constant, but when something comes up, they do need some of my attention, okay? And so, and normally what I would do is when a roof comes in, a lead on a roof, I drop everything and then go and do it. Well, I'm not doing that any longer. I'm putting in my 7 hours at, on Monday and Tuesday. I get to the job site, I take my phone off, put the alarm on for 9 a.m., and then I go put it on the counter and start working. And I keep on working until the alarm goes off. Alarm goes off, I check for text messages, check for voicemails, and return calls, and then set it again for 12 noon. And so that's what I've been doing. Now, one of those nights, I think it was Monday night, I left the job at 7 p.m. I ended up having to run a couple errands because we needed some supplies, and for the whole thing to keep on moving, we needed to get those. So, but I, for lack of better words, made it up, and, I was there till 7. So that has been extremely beneficial. And one house that, the one that I bought for $14,000, we had to do what we call a flood cut to expose the walls so that the electricians can get in there. And crazy story, but there was a fire. They put it out. They were told you need to get the house rewired, and somehow they didn't, and then they got caught trying to get the power turned on. Well, the county blackballed it and said there's not going to be any power turned on at this property until there is a rewire permit applied for by a licensed electrician. So no homeowner could do it any longer after that. So we got that ball rolling because they can be getting it wired while we're working on another property. And we're in the middle of a property right now that I'm going to do an owner finance to a gentleman. And we probably still got about 2 months. The deadline is September. We're looking to get in there by September. And, we have to stay constant with it. I would love to hire somebody and have them working as well. The problem with doing that is that it would really start to burn through some cash. And, there's enough money for me to get paid, Carla to get paid, and some money left over. But if I add a third person, then that money left over is gone. And there's 3 people in the last 30 days that have come to me, and they are shutting their doors because they don't have any money. And they're starting to slow down. And when things were real good, they bought a lot of equipment on time. And so now they got big payments. And, there's a lot to be said for, every transaction that you do, make sure you're putting something behind, okay? Because at some point, if you ever close the business, stop, something happens, guess what? You got money, okay? But a lot of people, all they see is that, I want to grow, I want to be bigger, I want 10 people, I want 20 people, I want 30 people, I just want to keep on going. And guess what? That's emotionally gratifying. It's way cool. Hey, man, I got 40 guys working for me and everything like that, fucking hey. I got 40 people, recognize, baby, recognize 40. So the thing is that, things are starting to slow down, but the payments aren't. The revenue is down, but the payments aren't. And so that equals to a negative cash flow. And, I hate it. But again, I don't want to get caught with my pants down. So we got some reserves, and now it's the time to get the rest of the properties done, get them up and going. And I was always telling myself, man, this is going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of work. Well, the simple fact is that if each property takes less than 90 days, I'll have them all done in a year and a half. That's doable. I like that. Because I really do want to be more in a position, for lack of better words, that I can downshift this whole thing and not be working as much, as hard, okay? Technically, I can stop now. I'd have a decent life. I'd be able to get some crab legs once a month, massage a couple times, but not much else. And so, I don't like looking at price tags. I don't want to be in a position that this hot chick says, hey, let's go to the Maldives. Your half's going to be $7,000. Well, I can't. I got to save my money up and everything. I got to wait about 6 months and everything. I want to be able to say, got it. Let's go. Book that seat. Book that plane. And, so I want to be in a better position. Those 5 houses up and going, that'll definitely do the trick. And then, I'll keep on looking for properties. And eventually I'd like to have, a crew of 3, buy some properties to run down, do some flips, and, and generate, cash, big cash, to not only pay down my portfolio, and thankfully I'm in a position that I don't owe that much on it, but, also generate cash to buy more, okay? I am not the guy to talk to on how to grow your portfolio real quickly, because I'm very adverse to taking on debt, all right? I've known a couple people that have lost large portfolios because downturns in the economy, and when you're having to fade, and you got 50 houses and, 15 or 20 of them are not paying, and you got a mortgage on every one of them, well, guess what? That little $200-300 a month gets ate up real quick, when you're having to make $1,000 payment, but if the house is paid for and things get tough, all you got to do is fade taxes, and if the house is $1,400 a month, you figure that, that's what, $105, $108 a month. You know, you can rent that house out for a couple $100. Somebody will pay you no matter how bad the economy is, you know. And there's a lot to be said for having Section 8 people, you know, because if the government stops paying, we got much bigger problems than, you know, losing our houses, that's for sure. So there you have it. You know, I'm just trying to get these emotions in check, inventory exactly where I'm at, what I'm doing, and why I do that, okay? Always find out why you do that, you know, because I'll give you an example. I would, you know, start something and we'd make a lot of headway on it and everything, and then I'd move on to something else. And it was like, you know, the big gratification was gone, and so I wanted to go to the next big gratification, you know, and it's like, no, you know, because when you do these houses like this, you know, first 2 weeks you make a lot of progress, and then it's week 3 to about week 12, nothing. It's slow as molasses. It's like watching paint dry. You know, it's like racing turtles. It ain't happening, okay? However, week 13, 14, it all comes together real quick, and it's beautiful. And that's the end product that I want. And I want all my properties rented. I want everything up and going, and it's not that far away. I can see it. And so that's what I'm doing. I need for you to hold me accountable. I need you to be sending me messages. I got an email in the description. You can write to me there, but leave them comments and say, hey, where you at? What are you doing? You putting in your 7 hours, okay? And a lot of times it's going to be more than 7 hours, but that was the bare minimum that I needed to put in every day working on my tools, okay? And believe it or not, I enjoy that. I really enjoy being on my tools. So there you have it. That's what's going on. And hopefully I'll have a better video next week telling you, hey, it's still going good. But I did want to do this. I appreciate y'all sticking by me. I appreciate you watching me and everything, because Lord knows I ain't the best YouTuber in the house, for sure. However, you know, rednecks and technology, we're dangerous. Have a wonderful evening.